Welcome, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Lefty's Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Ron Newkirk, and normally I'd be introducing my co-host, but today it's a little different. He's more than a co-host. He's more than that shaggy-haired little boy on the first tee of Fairview. He was gritty, he was poised, and most of all, mentally tough through a grueling two-day tournament that we just embarked on. Today and forever, I'd like to introduce your 2020 Connecticut Masters champion, John Krafik.
Wow. What an intro.
How are you, sir? It's good to see you. Is this your first presser since the big day?
This is my first live press conference. I've talked to a couple people offshore, but nothing live right now. Nothing live yet.
Oh, that's great. How's it feel? How's everything going? I mean, where have you taken? You didn't even take the green jacket, but where have you taken the trophy so far?
The trophy's made its way to the loft.
Yeah.
It sits comfortably on the desk. No, it feels good. It's like starting to settle in now that I'm like thinking about doing this. But like you said, what a absolute grueling 2 days. I don't think it was anything what we expected. I mean, we thought Saturday was going to be a beautiful day, and we got a war. But no, so awesome weekend, so much fun. Pumped to finally be able to play in it and obviously come out with a win. But happy to bring it home for the brand. Glad the pot. I would have been happy with one of the three of us bringing it home. So
yeah, I mean, usually after a loss like this, I hide as much as I can, and this is going to be a tough episode for me personally, because now I have to talk about it, and you being the champion as well. Like it's difficult for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I said, I usually just don't talk to any of the guys for probably a week or two, and then I can start to maybe golf again. I'm not golfing this weekend. I'm taking a hiatus. There's a lot that went in that's going to go into this winter. A lot of thinking, a lot of thought process, and that's where I'm at right now. So I congratulate you, but I also want to say good luck, or you have it for 6 months or so. And in April, just enjoy it is what I'm trying to get at. Enjoy the time you have with that, because you're not going to have it come April. I'll let you know that right now.
I love it. Listen, this is it's a big growing moment for you. This is great. I'm on the receiving ends of some unhappy texts, but to now be in the tournament and see it and have you right here about to walk through the weekend, this is a big step here.
Yeah, it is a big step. So obviously we'll get right into it. We talked last episode about how you were feeling. Your game is in a good place. You were stroking it, feeling good. But right before, you did have a couple ailments. Your tooth was an issue, and there was something that went on. I mean, the media was not on top of anything. Nobody said anything, but walk us through what you were thinking, say, Thursday or Friday with a swollen ass cheek.
Yeah, so it's funny because it's normally the role has been reversed. It's normally you before a big tournament comes up with some crazy injury, falls down a stair, cuts your finger. And I woke up I think it was like Tuesday last week, and my wisdom tooth just starts exploding coming into my fucking mouth, which was just an absolute nightmare. So I'm like, it's swollen, I'm taking it's literally like my cheek was like puffed up. So I'm freaking out, cause obviously wisdom teeth, it's like, you never know when they're going to really have to be pulled. So I'm thinking in my head, am I not going to be able to play in this tournament if I have to get this tooth pulled? I'm bugging out. I go to the range Thursday, have this absolutely euphoric range session. And on this third or fourth to last swing, I come down steep and I just do something to my shoulder and I'm freaking out. So going into mindset wise, I was all over the place going into it this weekend, but physically we held up. So it wasn't easy.
Yeah, I can't see it being easy. And then you come Friday night and Saturday, it started raining Friday night, really, like a mist, and it kind of rained Friday. And then Saturday, I don't know about you, but I was planning on just a beautiful Saturday with high of 70 and just the sun shining and making birdies and just playing so well. And we did not get that at all.
Dude, I literally took every rain thing out of my bag because I thought we were playing in like 68 and sunny. I was so hyped for the weather to get Fairview at like a beautiful fall day. And it couldn't be anything. It couldn't have been worse, essentially. We show up, we show up there, talk about gloomy. We show up there and Ranger Rick is just ripping around the freaking parking lot, and he comes right over to the truck and he tells us the entire building's closed. Everything's closed because an employee tested positive for fucking Corvid. And so like, we're all just like, okay, what's going on? Not even the fact that it's wet everywhere. It's like it's misting out. And I wasn't even thinking, it still hadn't even gone through my head like, oh, we're about to tee off in the rain. Like, it's crazy.
At some points it did rain too, so it sucked.
It was terrible.
That kind of just set the mood. Go over to the range. It just didn't get better, but we did. I mean, my round Saturday was way better than Sunday. I played well. It didn't seem like you guys were talking a lot about the wind and all that stuff during the course. I didn't see. I felt like I was in the zone, so I didn't really feel too much wind on certain holes and stuff like that. But it was definitely grueling though. Like not what we had thought.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, and you know me, I have chronic, I don't even know what you would call it. I have chronic wet hand syndrome. No, not wet hand syndrome. I have a problem with grips, with keeping my grips and glove or anything that I'm using hands wise dry. And I was a mental case.
Penguin hands or something like that. Like
penguin.
Once they get wet.
Walrus flippers.
Yeah, something
terrible. The first 5 holes, all I was thinking about was don't lose the club. I chunked a 3-wood off the first tee as the inaugural tee shot, and I wasn't even thinking about swinging. I was thinking about holding on to the club.
Yeah, which is tough. Our group, we had a great group, and we'll take you through it. Hammy, I mean, we had a power rankings for this whole thing. And at the end of it, we'll say exactly what it was. It was pretty damn close. The top 4 were interchangeable, and they pretty much just were exactly like Brett just flopped. And yeah, Hammy did okay during our foursome, and he flopped Sunday. But like, there was I'm losing my track here. You gotta fuck.
We are skipping the power rankings, going right into Ronnie's point 3, 2, 1.
So our foursome was awesome. We had Hammy, Brett. I was with Brett. Thought it was going to be a real battle on Fairview between me and him, but he had a real rough front nine. Hammy and Frankie both played decent. Frankie had a couple bad holes. It was the first time playing with Frankie, so he was a surprise on how well he played. Just a couple, not so much a surprise, but I just never played with him, and he's in a group with 7 other guys that he doesn't know. So for him to come out and play like that, he did really well. But yeah, Brett had a pretty bad front nine and just couldn't really come back from that. I played well, and then your group, you were actually paired with Dave, the guy that you battled on Sunday. Did you think playing with him on Saturday, he would be the guy that you were going to be battling coming down to 18?
I did not. I didn't. To be honest, it was an interesting round Saturday for sure. The highlight was Shaw. It was actually kind of crazy. So we started off. Mark put a crooked number up early. I think like a 10 or 11 on the 3rd hole, and so he was off in the woods on the phone with his wife. He was dealing with his own thing.
Just to be clear, it was an 11.
It was an 11. Okay, yeah. I think it was the high number for the weekend.
It was. That's the only reason I know it.
So, and like in the beginning, like the first 4 or 5 holes, like everybody's nervous, kind of like settling in. It's wet, we were kind of like finding our footing, and then we settle in, and all of a sudden I look over and Shaw's just like playing lights out. So I was like, holy shit. Like, and it almost turned to like, I was like, I kind of got to keep up with him because he was playing so well.
Yeah.
And it's just something I didn't expect, in the sense I probably should have expected it more, because he took 4 weeks off.
Yeah.
And
Well, that was one of my bold takes too, is that he would come out and break 85. He shot an 88, I believe, so it was very close. But it sounds like he played even better than an 88.
Oh, he played so much better. He limped in 16, 17, 18. But
Nah.
he was playing so well. And I at one point, like on the back turn, so at the front, we'll talk about it too. But we had I had a lead. I was playing all right, back and forth. Finally started to like settle in, and then on the ninth hole, I hit a decent tee ball, which I thought was like just off the fairway on the left. Like in the open, we lose the ball, of course, can't find it. I have to drop. Like I'm in my head. I hit a thin one off the drop, chip up, 2-putt, make double or triple. So instead of shooting 39 on the front or 40 on the front, and I just made birdie par, instead of shooting 39 or 40, I shoot like 42 or 43, coming off a double. I'm like reeling. And that's the thing, is I wasn't really playing I wasn't hitting the ball that well, as far as like spots, but I was, the first 4 holes on the back nine, I got up and down for par. So it was like, it was more just like, I was just staying in it. And honestly, I was like trying to keep up with Shaw.
You're grinding.
Yeah. It was an absolute war. But no, Dave was just doing his thing, you know, like he would have a really good hole and then he'd have a bad hole, and he'd have a really good hole and then he would have a bad hole. But I didn't think, and especially, first off, one of the hardest things is not knowing where anybody's at, like adds such intrigue to that tournament. Cause we had no idea. Like, I don't know. I know how my group's playing, but I have no idea how you guys are playing. And we're like,
yeah. And neither group told each other at 9
nothing.
either. Like, you guys weren't going to be the first to text.
Yeah.
We sure as hell weren't going to be the first to text. So like,
I'm looking on Instagram to see if you posted an update.
I was doing the same thing. I'm like, oh, maybe they put an update and nothing. I'm just like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So at first I thought it was just going to totally suck, but like, it was like that intrigue, like you said, was kind of cool to have. Like,
yeah.
Sunday I would have liked to known a little bit more, but Saturday it's kind of like cool to have that suspense when you pull up to the green or to see what everybody had. So luckily for us, Shaw had to work Saturday night. So he came in, I was in the lead by 2 on you and Shaw.
Yep. We were tied.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. And Dave rounded out the top 4. So it was me, you, Shaw, and Dave in the final pairing. Like I said, I was feeling very good. I was playing good Saturday. And we can get into my demise on Sunday, but
do we want to talk? We got to tell the story about Saturday.
I was gonna say, part of the downfall of Ron Newkirk this weekend was a very poor choice on my part. It's not the first time that it happened during the round, and I happened to play the wrong ball, and I finished out a hole with the wrong ball. Our rules official, I was playing with the rules official, and he informed me just as I'm teeing my ball up that it is a possible disqualification. So to say that my head was elsewhere for 17 and 18, because this happened on 16, I drained a pretty good, like maybe a 12-footer from the fringe for par, for what I thought was par. So we get up there. Everybody decides that the DQ is a little harsh for a tournament.
Wait. No. So let me cut in here, because so my group's the first group off. Your group is following us up. So we just get finished playing 18. And we now, like, when we talk about intrigue, like, we have no idea what's happening with your group, like, no idea. So,
right.
You know, we're fired up, like, day one, just finished. I just made birdie. Like, we were, like, fired up to watch you guys come in.
Yeah.
And you got you're down it's a par 5. You guys are down, I think, like, looking for a ball over
Frankie's.
near, like, yeah, was it Frankie's ball? And
Yeah.
so, so we're waiting, we're talking, where are they at? Where do we think they at? We're trying to like think back. We saw Frankie hit a couple OB on 11. We're like trying to think of who's playing well based on the little golf we've seen. So you guys get up, you guys approach the green, and it's just silent. Like it is crickets. I was like, wow, like
And
this is what's that?
no, and mind you, I had just piped a drive, piped a hybrid to up
To the
close
front of the green, yeah.
to the front of the green, which I don't ever do that. You could say the adrenaline was pumping. I chip up, hit a long putt for a comfy par, and
Yep.
I was so happy with the way I finished because I ended up doubling 17 on some bullshit. But the way I handled it after, it could have been triple. So, anyways,
So
Hammy walked by you guys.
So I'm filming you. So I'm like, oh, I better get like, I want to shoot them all on 18. We saw your approach shot, which was a bomb. So we're like, somebody hit one up to here. We didn't know who it was. So now we're like, we're dialed in, and Hammy starts walking up the right side of the green. And for those of you who know Fairview, 18 is just this massive double green. So we're on the front right of the green, and the pin's on like the third tier in the back, like left corner of the green. So a little farther away from us, but we're keeping our distance. And we're just looking at Hammy, and somebody like says like, hey, like, doing all right? Like, what's going on? And he looks at us and just goes, there's a conversation that has to be had. And we all look at each other like, what the hell is going on? Like, what could have happened? And then, it's obviously like something so ridiculous as like that. I mean, we obviously were never going to like DQ you or anything like that. But the way that he delivered it.
Yeah, the thing that kills me is that Hammy does take his job very seriously as the rules official. And there, I think if it was, I don't know. I swear that he thinks that I should have been DQ'd no matter what. Like
he just thinks it's a USGA event.
He finished in 7th, and he will forever go down in 6th place as the 2020 Masters or the 2026 place guy in the Masters.
Hilarious.
But
listen,
yeah, so
it wasn't the only stroke that was awarded after. Like I got stroked because we didn't have like a set in stone like leaf rule. And it happened in your group, and I think it was Brett or something hit somebody that hit a ball that they thought was in play, and same thing happened. So I ended up taking a stroke. You took 2 for the wrong ball, and I took 1 for the leaf ball. And I think maybe somebody else did too, but it ended up working out. It wasn't like, whatever happened Sunday, it was going to happen. Like it wasn't, I didn't think it was too big of a thing.
Exactly. So moving on to Sunday, there was a couple guys in the second group that could have made a run. I feel like Hammy and Frankie were a little out of reach, but Mark and Brett were I think they had 80s net. So that was, if we had blown up, anybody could have flopped. Like, I'm not saying Frankie
100%.
But they needed a lot more to happen than Mark and Brett did.
Yes.
So I wasn't too worried about that group. So I was pretty much dialed in on just beating you is what I went into. I was like, if I can beat you gross, I'm going to win. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So we'll just go over what I was thinking.
Let's do this. Let me start real quick. So we meet. We're teeing off at like 9 a.m. We all meet at Valley Golf driving range to hit balls in the morning. And I don't know if you obviously saw this, but you saw me hosel rocket like 4 or 5 irons.
I didn't.
You said something when I did the first one. I don't even know if
really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You said something. So
I might have just been like sick. I saw you hit a bad shot, but I didn't see that many.
Oh,
when you did one, I remember just being like sick.
Yeah. No. I went a little dark there to start. It was bad.
It was serious on that range though, because Shaw was over by himself. Like nobody was really talking. I had my headphones. Like it was, you could feel the tension.
100%
going into this. So me thinking this whole thing, like I'm just like, I think Dave is gonna shoot like normal. I don't know if he's gonna have it because usually Candlewood is his kryptonite. On some holes, obviously the bridge is his thing. So I said if I could beat you gross, that I was going to win.
Yeah.
Kept with you pretty much the whole time, but there was.
Well, hold on. So let's preface it by the tournament. So you guys obviously play in a Sunday league. The course was set up for a 3-club Monte. And what that essentially means is that they decided to change up a bunch of the different tee boxes.
Because people are only choosing 3 clubs and going through the whole thing. So tee boxes were closer than normal. Pins were in diabolical places.
Crazy places. Crazy places.
You missed that freaking 6-inch putt with the banana hook. That was – the pins were crazy. There were so many missed putts. I probably 3-putt probably 8 times. Unbelievable. It was cool though. What did you think about that? I totally thought about that. I thought it was like –
I loved it. It was awesome because it was different. Like you guys all play Candlewood every weekend, and I've never, like, I don't know how many times you played the tees where they were on 13. Never.
Only in the
red, white,
blue. Yeah.
A couple of those pins were absolutely ridiculous. And so it felt like it actually made me feel better. It felt like a real tournament. Like it felt like a Sunday.
A major tournament.
Felt like a major tournament.
In the final pairing.
and I know you're going to hate to hear this, but the way that you hit the ball Sunday morning was like terrifying. At
the range?
No, the front 9. If you made putts, you would have easily shot under par in the front, or in the back. Sorry, you were hitting you were swinging so well, and
I 3-putt like 4 to 5 times on the front. I couldn't make a putt, and it was pissing me off because the day before, I had lag putted. I could have hit 2 putts from anywhere on the green, and I didn't think that the greens were overly fast or anything, but they were different. And I just, after like the 3rd one, it started to get in my head, and honestly, it was a mental lapse. After this, I think I'm almost ready to tell the story.
Oh. But let me say too that was something that I definitely realized very early on, putting wise, was the sole focus had to be leaving the ball below the hole, because
every time.
And it wasn't the fact that the greens were super fast. It was the fact of like where the pins were, and the pins, like Shaw probably had like 7 to 10 downhill 2 to 4 footers that were like, you touch them, you have to hit the center of the cup. And that's what it was. It was like, it was almost like putting was just as strategic as like playing like any other shot. And that was what was so fun about it. Obviously not, it was hard. Like it was still hard to make putts, but
So we tee off the back.
So real quick,
Dave starts making a chart. Remember that?
No. So we finish 9. You're up 1. So we go into. Did we go into Sunday? Were you up 1 or were you up 3? You might have been up 3.
I was up 2 on you. I shot 73 and you were a 75 net.
Okay, so net, I shot even on the front 9 and you shot 1 over. So it's neck and neck.
So it was 1 stroke. And Dave was in there too, because remember, he had that nasty stretch of like 4 holes where he was 6 under net.
Oh, he went crazy and
then
on the back.
And then the mental games started going, but then we'll get into that. He came back. So 9 holes, I'm starting, you gained a stroke on me net, and the turning point and I hate to admit this, and this is part of the process of talking through this and having a podcast and having to deal with this bullshit. When you said there's no par 5s, watch out, or something like that, like, I started thinking, I'm like, oh shit. Like, first off, you said that I'm not getting any strokes on you on the front 9.
I made sure to say that.
And that there's 2 par 5s. Those 2 things, I was just like, well, he birdies 80% of par 5s now. He's big time. This is going to be a grind.
I'm
on edge.
I had I birdied 2 par 5s the day before.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. And par 5, I mean, you hit that 5 wood so well and your 3 wood so well. So I was on edge from then on.
Really?
It started to kick in. I played well on 1, 2, 3, 4. I was grinding, still putting like crap. And we get to the 5th hole, which
we're just trading blows. Not blows,
yeah,
but like we're just like nobody's taking over the tournament.
I was still 1 up, or no, you had taken the lead. You were 1 up when we got onto hole 5, which is what?
I parred 4. That's right. Yep.
14.
Yeah. So what would be 5? Yeah, 4 or 14.
Yes.
Sorry.
So the 5th hole. Let's paint a picture here. The usual tees are back a little bit farther. These ones were way up. It required an iron play for a safe shot, right?
I had the box.
You had the box. You hit your.
I hit a smooth 6-iron. I turned around and I said, "Safe as a bird, baby."
Safe as a bird. A 6-iron, safe as a bird. I believe Dave did the same. Safe as a bird. Shaw did the same. So I decided that I was going to make a move, and I said, I'm down 1. I need to do something, and it was a calculated move where the landing zone for a said driver would be was bigger than a soft little 6-iron. So I go up there and I say, I'm either going to win or lose.
No.
Win or lose.
No, you have to tell the full story.
Oh, I am.
You look at the cameraman.
Well, I look at the cameraman and I say, I'm going to fucking do it.
I'm pulling driver.
So then after a little relapse, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do it. I see you both hit it, and I'm like, I'm doing it. So I go up there. All of a sudden, you could fucking feel the tension. You could cut it with a knife. Everyone is so quiet. I go up there, and I hit one of the farthest drives I have all year. A little baby cut, which I haven't hit in years.
It was disgusting.
Over the trees, and it was a beautiful, beautiful shot. So I'm just like, let's go. We can do this. You fan one off just a little left of the green, right?
Yep.
So I'm like, I got like 60 yards in, probably not even 65 yards, maybe 55, whatever. I'm like, all I got to do is just hit this to the center of the green, and I'm going to get my stroke back. This is what I was worried about. I end up chunking it, and I just barely get to the cart path. I walk up a little frustrated. I was like, okay, now you got to get up and down, smart ass. Like, you got to grind. I chunk it again. So now the pressure is just building. I'm just like a freaking teapot right now, and I'm ready to blow. I get up again, and I chunk it again. 3 in a row. I end up double bogeying, and after that point, I was done. I was only down by 3 strokes maybe at that point.
It was 3.
And yeah, and with 4 holes to play.
4 to play, yep.
Could have made a charge, but I get up to the next tee box, and I hit a worm burner off the ladies' tee trash can, 90-degree into the shit, and none of you guys could even muster up laughing, saying anything, nothing. We get in the cart, we drive up.
No. Okay. No. This is amazing because you're so far in your head. I'm so glad that you just said that because you then must not even remember. I look at all the guys like 5 seconds after it happens. It's dead quiet. And I go, yo, that was trash. And dude, you definitely didn't even hear it. Like, and I literally look around. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. Like right after I said it, I was like, I had to say it. Like somebody had to say it.
Oh, it was trash. But we get up to it. I end up yelling at you. I'm like, dude, you can't even park the car closer to the fucking ball. Like I was pissed.
So that and that okay. One of the best things that happened, and potentially one of the worst, was the fact that like we were paired together. Because for me, it couldn't have been like more comfortable. But like it at that point too, it was so awkward because like it was the point where I shouldn't even have opened my mind or said something, but I was like, I felt like like, it was almost like we were like being teammates. Like I said something to you, like I was like trying to like pick you up, like you gotta
We're
get
so
going. And
yeah,
I
we're
like
so used to like picking each other up, and like it, I think it
you
would have been more awkward if you didn't say anything. But I was just like, I
you
said the
snapped.
nicest. I
You
was just like, dude, don't fucking talk to me.
I
Like,
know.
just go,
And then I was
go
like,
win them. But I just needed that one hole though, because after that hole, I was just like, you know what, I'm out of it. Let's start commentating. Because I was rooting for you. If anybody else wasn't
yeah,
going to
yeah.
win this,
No,
yeah,
you for as much as the wheels fell off there, like it you were in your own little world, but it was like you weren't like you weren't
no,
bad
I
at
was just
all. It wasn't
after
bad.
that point, I literally just like when you guys weren't ready, I was playing ready golf. I went up, hit my shot, did my thing, got out of your way is basically what I was
Yeah,
doing.
yeah, yeah.
Sucked to happen. I'm very disappointed in the mental game that on those last 5 holes. I can't believe that I checked out the way I did, and it's something to work on during the winter. We're gonna get real deep. I know
Yeah.
that for sure.
Yeah, no,
So
for sure. And just to touch on that a little bit, there were a couple points that so we haven't talked about this yet, but I've had a complete like 360-degree change on my entire swing thought process, like everything. I have sworn to a new religion, a new cult, the Adam way, the Adam Long way. You're not familiar with it yet, but you will be familiar with it, and we're gonna have plenty of discussions on this podcast
yes,
about it. But um, it was cool to, as I was like thinking about the round, it was crazy how much the member guest, how much I resorted back to like feelings and thoughts when it came to like the predicament, like the different
yeah,
situations that I was in. I don't even know if you remember this, but after when we went over the bridge, I literally like said to you, I was like, dude, I think I might have the shanks. Like my swing is gone. Like I can't, if you're hitting the ball like this, I was like, I can't keep up. Like I can't do this.
right.
I was putting pretty well. I was like scrambling my face off. And like, right as I said that out loud to you, I was thinking in my head to when I felt like I lost my swing on Sunday of the member guests. And I was like, all right, what did I do to like get it back? Like I need to like go back to like the basics and everything. And then I really just started thinking about like, all right, you're trying to do too much. Take a 3/4 swing and just like slow down, slow way down. And we come out of the trees and we get up to 7 or what is it, 16.
16, yeah.
And I hit the best tee shot I hit all day. I hit a bomb right down the middle, and I felt like I swung at 60%. And I was like,
Right.
oh, like hold on, like I can find this again. Like I can find this. And it wasn't like I found it, but I found the club face. Like it wasn't like I still was spraying off the tee. I didn't hit the ball particularly well, but within 150 yards, I felt amazing. And
Right.
it was like I started like, and we'll get into it when we get into the 4 big dog shootout holes, but I started to like kind of like, I don't know, like call on those memories. And we talk about playing in the Candlewood member guests and how much like the first year we learned something, and then year 2 we learned something, and year 3 we learned something. And then to like almost feel like we put it together this year, and then to have that to like draw back on this like mentally where I was at was like, it felt big after the fact, but I was like, wow, I kind of just did that, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, no, I hear you. You even said it when we got to 6. You're just like, we've been here before. This is. I wish I was in a better place mentally
I was
to
fired
be,
up.
because you actually ended. So during my whole demise, Dave's in the back here just
Just,
scurrying up right next to
just
you.
making 4 for 2s, 5 for
Yeah.
3s, and just
Yeah.
I'm looking at the bottom of his scorecard, and he's 1
Yeah.
under, 2 under net, 3
He
under
ended
net,
up.
5 under net. I was like, oh shit.
The start of it too was on the 6th hole there. He ended up birdieing that thing.
He made birdie. So yeah, so let's get
Yeah.
into it. So the race felt like for the majority of the day until the 14th hole, like it was me and you. It was like we felt like we were playing each other. He makes that birdie. I think I made par or bogey. I forget what it was, but I think at that moment he was down 2 or down 1.
No. He was up. He was
Oh, he
up
was
on
up.
you.
He was up.
He was up going on into the 7th hole, or
Yes.
what would be 16, the 16th hole, the
Yes.
7th actual hole.
Yes.
You end up doing the exact same thing that you did at CMG,
Dude.
and you hit a poopy little 5-wood that scurries next to that bridge, and then pin one even closer than the CMG. Nasty.
When I tell you it was the same exact, same exact
Same
5-wood, same exact swing. It landed in a freaking 4-foot circle in the same exact spot it landed in.
Yeah.
And I remember because way easier putt. I lost my yardage thing, and I didn't want to look at you and be like, yo, what's the yardage? Because you were doing your own thing. And I literally thought about it. I looked at the spot. I looked at where the pin was. I was like, yo, that looks like this almost the same exact pin as the member guest. I'm going to hit a nice, easy 9-iron, and I'm just going to finish at the flag. And I stick it to freaking a foot, 2 feet.
Yeah.
And
fast forward to that. 8th hole was nothing. 9th hole, you and Dave.
No,
because you're tied.
No, so I missed the birdie putt, which would have been 3 for 2. Dave hits one up. He hits a good drive, hits one up to the base of the green, and I had just stuck one. So he knew he kind of had to get up and down, and he chunked the chip, which was massive because I ended up missing that birdie putt, which is – I just sent it into Zyre Golf. I hope they pick it up. It was the meanest birdie putt. I'm going to post it again tomorrow maybe.
Nice.
It was the meanest birdie putt of all time. So I ended up only making 4 for 3, and we go into the next hole, and I got 1 there, I think.
Oh, that's right. Dude, I thought that you caught it up. I thought you caught up.
No.
I forgot. Missed that birdie putt.
Yeah, I missed that birdie putt. So then we go to 8.
Dave went 5 for 4.
Dave piped one.
Right.
Pipes
and
one.
And you were off in the tree.
And I fan one to the left in the tree, and I have no shot. I know I have to punch out. I punch one out, hit a pretty good punch shot to about 40 yards right in front of where the end of the fairway runs into the green. And the pin is tucked on a right ridge. And so I got to get up and down to make 4. He was to the right. I actually wasn't paying too much attention to what he was doing. I don't even know where he was at that time because I knew I had to hit a good shot because, I mean, any blow up or anything, he's getting, he was only getting 1 stroke on that hole. And I hit a 60 degree to about 5 inches.
Right. And he was 5 for 4 and you went
and I was 4 and I made 4, which was huge. So we go tied going into 18 or going into 9.
Playing straight up too.
Playing straight up. No stroke, which I will say this, the biggest thing that I learned from this whole weekend is I made some of the dumbest club selection choices still. I was hitting that driver shit. I should have hit a 3. If I was playing you, I guarantee you I would have hit a 3-wood and I wouldn't have hit a driver. Right. But I was I was too I don't know why. I was just super comfortable. I just hit a 9-iron to 2 feet. I just hit a wedge to tap in. I was feeling good. Yeah. But where my swing was with my longer clubs, I should have hit 3-wood. Put myself in another shit position behind a tree. He hits one. He hit about 190 to the green, I think. He didn't
he hit one so fucking high.
Straight up in the air. We had a bunch of moon shots.
Straight up. So you actually at the end, he, I think, chunked the next one, and we kind of knew that if you just chipped out, got up, and maybe made a bogey, was probably going to win. So I talked you into chipping out. You were looking to go over the tree like a true champion.
I was so ready to go over that tree.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, and I said to you, I was like, depending on what Dave does is your decision. I was like, if he pins one, then you're forced to go at it. Yeah. But if he doesn't, you just take your medicine, get up and down from there.
That's
it.
You
end up going, you listen to me. You go in front of the green, and then I'm standing with the guys, and we see a little nerves from Mr. Krafik I've never really seen before. And you chunked a pretty easy chip.
I did, dude.
You had the whole green to work with. The pin was back left. You had the whole green to work with, and as you're coming down, it was almost like you knew you were gonna chip, and you're just oh shit.
No, dude.
Chunk.
It's funny.
Now everything starts puckering up a little bit for everybody, and we're okay, we might have our first playoff hole.
Well, it was, and I didn't. It's funny because the nerves definitely like started to settle in on that chip, but I really wasn't even that nervous on the first one that I chunked. It was the situation where, and I actually went back and looked at the video of it. The area of where like the ball was all just down wet leaves. There was no
Yeah.
grass. There was no grass growing underneath it, and it was like soft dirt. And
Yeah.
you know how like with a 60-degree off like soft dirt, like you have to catch it. Like you gotta hit it.
Yeah.
You have to
You have to
clip it.
pick.
You gotta
Yeah.
essentially like pick it. And
Yeah.
I had just probably nerves, but I had the biggest fucking brain fart of all time. And I swung at that thing, dude, at like 30%. It was the worst shot. I looked at it again. I was like, oh my God.
It was
But
horrible.
I will say that right after that, based on the situation, like I knew like, okay, if I get up and down here, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
It helped me, as like bad as it seems, like it did help me like focus and being
Yeah.
like, and I was just like, okay, I know what's I know what the ball's sitting on now. Just clip it. Just go at it. But it was bad. That was bad.
So needless to say, congratulations to you. Congratulations to Dave on a second place victory. He played really well down the stretch, and you
He
can't
did.
take that away from him. Yeah, it was really cool to see. I would like to give a little shout out to Norm. I think we have to.
Oh my God.
He was there to watch. There was like a little gallery in the back, which was cool. Not there for us, but they had played. But Norm had come down, and he's a listener of the podcast and a real legend at Candlewood and in New Melford and Washington sports in general.
If you
Knows a
don't
lot of people. And
if you don't know who he's talking about Norm Cummings from the Spectrum Sports. I'm sure a lot of you listeners know who he is.
yes, he is just a class act. He was there, and we had a great time at the house too. He ended up coming over to the house and celebrating with us all, and just want to give him a shout out and almost as like a preview, because we are going to have him on the podcast, and we had some great conversations already, and everybody's in for a treat when we have him on there. But other than that, like, one more question for you is, was there really Masters pressure? How did that match up to what you thought it was going to be?
It was different. It's hard
Yeah.
because and I try to explain it, and I remember talking to you while we were playing, but like you can't like replicate like people that you don't know watching you. Like the member guests, like having 30-40 people there, not that you don't know, but like having not random people, but having people just watching you play golf is like a different feeling. So
Right.
wasn't that type of pressure. It wasn't the eyes pressure. It was to me, I couldn't believe how like nervous and serious I took it, like from the start. Like the first 3-4 holes at Fairview, like I was like legitimately like not nervous. It wasn't affecting my game, but like, you're just thinking about everything, and you're just like, you're almost like overthinking everything. It was real. The best way, like the way that I explain it is like, or the way that I explained it to somebody was asking me about it. It was like, you get 8 guys that always play golf, that always know like when somebody's playing golf, like you guys are all in the same league together. You guys see each other like almost every Sunday. You always know when somebody plays well. You always know like how somebody's playing. Like it's a very interconnected group. And one weekend out of the year, we go play the same conditions, the same courses, the same tees, the same pins at the same time against each other. And you just see like who has it that weekend, who has it the best that weekend. And
Yeah.
obviously everything that goes into that with, what you guys have created with the jacket and the trophy and the banter and the board, and we got a rules official. It definitely it lived up to the hype for sure. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
The only thing is that it makes playing normal golf not as fun to me now. Like I want to play competitive golf.
I know. That's the thing. Like, I think we all said it right after. We're just like, so what are we doing next weekend? Like,
Right.
just it was a lot of fun. I was very happy with the way things went. Sunday was great, just sitting by the fire, just bullshitting, having a couple cocktails, coming in here and putting. Just everything that went down was awesome. Having the family here, and they did surprise us. We're sitting there, and they surprised us with a podcast that the girls made. My wife Shelby and Hammy's wife Carly did a podcast, and we're actually going to get into that in a little while. If you don't have anything else left on the table for our masters, I'd say we might be able to get into it.
Oh, we are definitely getting into this. Here, hold on.
Let me get
No,
it.
End of the podcast, going into the ladies' tea time. 3, 2, 1. No, let's jump into the ladies' tea time. I can't wait.
Yeah. So this first episode of the Ladies Tea Time is brought to you, in fact, by a very friendly sponsor that we had that are now sponsoring them, B&B Golf. B&B Golf covers. They make electric putter and driver covers. You might have seen them this weekend. They have strong like Kong, swing oil driver covers. I have the Put a Benjamin on it, I'm so clutch. You have them right over there, Hustle and Dough. They have absolutely amazing head covers. Go check them out. It's bnbgolf.com, and follow them on Instagram at B&B Golf Covers. With the code Lefty15, you can get 15% off your order. And we actually just did a giveaway with them. So a great partnership, and glad to have them on the Ladies Tea too. So without further ado, here are the wives.